Hey, welcome back to the channel. So yesterday we took a look at Fictionary StoryTeller app. We explored my story gutter child over here and looked at all the ways that the StoryTeller app can analyze the progress that I'm making on the story. And I thought today we would actually go to look at their creation tool, which is still in beta, but I haven't tested this yet, so we're going to go in blind and discover it together. So this is something I think if you're on the fence about whether you want to try it, you'll can get a full sense of what it has to offer just hopefully by watching this video and the one before it. In order to make a new book, we want to first go to my bookshelf and then over here write a new novel. And then from this point on, don't know what we're in for. We'll work on it together. So if you see my yWriter videos, you can kind of get a sense of where the two compare. So I'll likely link yWriter to this video so you can compare the differences if you haven't checked it. I'll likely pair off either actually I have to go back and review which part covers which program. But I know the 7th part covers the actual creation of a chapter. So as I was saying last time, I plan to go back to that. But anyway, we're going to do something throwaway. I don't really want to save this because I don't, again, plan on actually getting the subscription anytime soon, not unless there's like a drastic change in the pricing structure or a massive overview in what they provide. Because right now, even though I think it's pretty good, I don't think it's good enough to pay the kind of money they're asking for on my budget. And again, I want to emphasize, if you missed my last video, the value that you get out of this program really depends on A, how much you need visualization, and B, what kind of budget you're setting for yourself. Because again, if you don't mind $20 a month or $200 a year, if that's something that's a drop in bucket for you and you may decide this is perfect, and by all means you should support it because it's a good program. And I've used a lot of different writing software programs, a lot of different evaluation tools and things, and I got to say this is a pretty high standard it sets. Just because it doesn't do everything that I feel it should do it for that price point, I'm not yet ready to support it for myself. But I just want to emphasize that. But I want to say that going into this because I want to do something throwaway. So we're going to do something like, I like coffee. I have a cup of coffee next to me. So we're going to do something about coffee. Coffee and cheese. That's going to be the name of our story. Coffee and cheese. So next, so I guess we need to set up some kind of device here. Now, obviously, I have no plan. What I could probably do is I'll probably want to export what I have. If I actually end up liking what I've got, I'll at least export it, and then maybe we'll throw that out there somewhere. But there's an intro here. I'm not going to watch it because I'm doing a video, and I'm sure you don't want to watch, my recording of their video. But we'll just kind of wing it. So right now we can see the layout's pretty much just like the actual story that we imported. So I imagine it's going to be just like you would do like through Scrivener or any other element here. So if I want to do, let's say, the character list, let's add a character. We don't have any characters yet, so we can add a character here, I guess. Can we do that? Hello? No? Oh, maybe, do we have to write a name? Let's call him, we'll call him Bob. Not caffeine, that's too on the nose. Bob Bean. That's also on the nose, but it's interesting enough. And can we use that? Can we add enter? Don't know if that worked. Okay, so we clearly can't add a character this way, so that won't work. So then our next job, I guess, will be to go back to the overview like we would in the actual thing, and then we can add Bob Bean here. Bob Bean. Okay. All right, now we have Bob Bean. He's in here. So if we want, we can add all the characters in ahead of time, and we'll just assume that he's our POV. Yeah, because again, it's going to be one scene. Doesn't matter. All right, and then if we go back through here, reading room, word count, character list. Let's just make sure that all translated. Okay, so go back to evaluate because it looks like this is where we're at. And I think we can actually write the story in the scene here. Bob Bean, oops. Began, seriously, hold on. All right, let's do this again. This is a beta, just, clarifying. Can we get rid of the... All right, there we go. Okay, Bob Bean was a basically buff... Sorry, we're not going to do that. I'm not going to torture you with alliteration. Bob Bean liked his coffee. He also liked his wine. But what he really liked, we're actually going to italicize that. Oh, what just happened? All right, I guess I can't use hotkeys here. But what he really liked was coffee and, no, not, well, actually, and wine. But not just coffee and wine, but coffee, wine, and cheese. Without coffee and without cheese, Bob could not enjoy his wine. So, what did Bob do the day that his wife, say, Nancy, took away all of his coffee and cheese? He whined. And so we have our inciting incident, right? So what is POV's goal? Get back his cheese and wine. I guess we're going to assume the wine is gone. I'm not going to follow through on this. This is the dumbest thing I've ever written. But as you can see, we probably don't need to spend a lot of time on this, honestly. This is, it's a kind of a ground level design tool for your story. If you don't want to write in Word or Scrivener or any of these other programs, you can go right into Fictionary, go right into StoryTeller app. And what's nice about this, and I do like the premise here, I know I'm making fun of it, but it's actually what's really good about this is you can actually set your structure even before you write the scene. So if I really wanted to take this seriously, I would fill all this in before I started. And that way I have a clear picture of what I'm trying to accomplish. And, what's really great is then, if I were to use this, I could actually go into the visualization and get a picture of what my story looks like even before I have the words in there, right? Because I can see if I'm wasting my time. That's what I'm imagining. Now, am I correct in that thinking? I guess it takes experimentation. But, let's say if we say, arc, inciting incident, everything's anchored. And then we're not going to fill all that in right now, but we'll call it Bob's Wine Day. Because, I totally named it coffee and cheese, and that had nothing to do with wine. So I'm already lying to the reader, but that's okay. No one's going to read this. It's fine. It's just not going to get written. Although I should save it just in case I ever come back to it. I'll save it just for the heck of it. Oh, you got a timestamp. Nice. So I don't know when it'll draw. I'm sure you might have to have the entire structure before it'll allow you to do that. That's the one thing about importing a story is it assumes your structure is already written, so it can already draw for you because it's going to guess where your arc points will be based on how long your book is, and then of course you go back and set it yourself. So that there's always that element in play. But I like the potential here. If I were to subscribe, I would probably write at least one story using this system. I think it's definitely worth the effort that they give you. And again, compared to things like yWriter, yWriter is great because it's free and it really does cover a lot of elements. But the user interface kind of sucks in my opinion. It's not bad, but the visualization elements combined with trying to remember what everything does. It's a little wonky, but that's what you get for free products. But, in its wonkiness, it's still a lot more effective right now because it's had 7 iterations. And at some point, you just want what works over what looks fine. So, again, going back to what I said last time, this may not be your thing and maybe exactly what you're looking for. If you have the money and the budget, they're worth supporting, I think. Again, if I had the budget, I would do it. I would say, you know what? I'll pay $20 a month to write at least one story here just to give it a go. But as I said in my last video, the one thing I really want to see added, other than the extra senses that they don't yet have, would be a scene generator of having all the 5 story points within the scene. So I'd like to see a story map within the actual scenes and not just through the structure of the novel. And then the other thing I really would like to see, and I think this would change my mind about the worth of the monthly, is if they show you exactly where characters are in every scene. So like if they allow you to map, let's say Bob Bean shows up in all but one scene, I want to know which scene he's not in. If he's my POV character, I need to know where he's not present so that I can either go look at the scene and fix that, or judge whether or not that's the right choice. So again, if you're testing Fictionary or you're planning on testing it, this is certainly something you may want to look in. If you're not, if you're actually with Fictionary and you happen upon this video, there's some feedback for you. I hope it's good feedback. Like I said, I would totally be on board with this if it just had those few extra bells and whistles to really make this a standout over any other program. Because there's a lot of programs out there that do a lot of what I would want for cheaper. But again, I think where Fictionary is stronger is in the visualization. I don't know of a program that has visualization like this. So there's one more thing I'm going to test. I'll give you a preview. I have it open in my tab here. It's called Dabble. This is going to be the thing that I'm going to look at in the future. Just give it a quick look real quick. This is like the Scrivener comparison or the Scrivener competition. I'm going to check that out probably not today or tomorrow, but soon I'm going to look into it and see if I like this, and then I'll do a video on it and give my feedback. But it looks like it's a little more streamlined, and I think that's sort of the point of it, but we'll get there. Anyway, yeah, so Fictionary StoryTeller, the beta creation tool, not bad. I could see a lot of potential in it. Because again, when comparing to something like yWriter, I like the program. I think it's really great. You know what? While we're here, we'll go ahead and just look at the differences. So by comparison, here's yWriter 7. I'm going to do another video on this in depth very soon because I want to write the next scene to waterbed here. But look at the difference. You have tabs. It's all there. But compare that to this. So again, visualization, Fictionary, definitely got it. Yeah, so anyway, if I want to go ahead and have a much friendlier experience, I would probably want to use this because then I could describe that wherever Bob or location would be Bob's dining room, assuming that's where he keeps his stuff. The time would be morning. I wouldn't put a date yet because I don't know. I haven't thought of that. We're literally just kind of winging it. But object would be coffee, cheese, and wine. Okay. And then we haven't established the setting yet as far as the senses go, but this would be an opportunity where we can think it through. And so we could totally use this as an outliner. And I think that's useful. So anyway, if you like Fictionary, give it a try. And if you're on the team that's developing it and you like these suggestions, by all means, I hope it works out. And I hope you guys are able to implement some of those things because I really do think that this is a formidable program with those extra additions. So anyway, all right, thanks for watching, guys. Next time, I don't even know what's coming next. It'll either be Dabble or it'll be yWriter 7. Or it'll be my Google videos, depending on whether or not I have them uploaded by the time you see this. So anyway, have a good one. Thanks. Bye.